Oh, hey there, guys. What's going on? Fears, audience. Uh, this is John Fears' second live stream on the main channel. I don't know if this is going to be a usual thing. I told myself I would only save live streams on the main channel for big, exciting things. And this is exciting, guys. I am honored to help my friend promote his movie. If you guys haven't noticed, Fears has been helping my friend and my buddy film director Don Callahan promote his Supermen World War film just a tad, just a tad. There is tons of videos on my Supermen World War. There's tons of videos on his Supermen World War fan page. There's tons of videos that I've helped him make on my vlog channel and on my main channel. So and our live stream with the Mortal Kombat actor last time was so good, got tons of views. I thought, well, I'll do another live stream, with a big film director. So I thought, why not? So we're gonna get him in here, and I'm gonna send him the link, and heck yeah. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, here we go. And I've already personally seen the film. The cast and crew has seen the film. And only a little bit of the public has seen his film. So, yeah. But we're going to get more information as we go from Mr. Don Callahan. All right. There we are. I sent him the link, so Don should be in here momentarily. We're just waiting for Don, and this should be a really good interview. Like I said, I've seen the film. Don's seen the film. All the cast and crew have seen the film, but not much of the public yet have seen the film. And we're trying to promote it. We're trying to get it out there as much as possible, guys, as much as possible. Don's been taking it around a couple of film festivals, and a few days ago, him, Kevin Caliber, and some other people was at the Supermen celebration. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, guys. I had some prior engagements that I had to go to, but and plus I wasn't feeling good either. So, but yeah. So we're gonna wait for Don to get in here. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the main channel, Fearsman 26. That's my baby. That's the one that I started with. I've only had the vlog channel up for about I think about 9 months, 10 months, something like that. But let's try and get the vlog channel up to 1,000. Right now we're at 663 on the vlog channel, so it's doing all right, not too bad. But we can do better. So if you're subscribed to the main channel, get other people to subscribe to the main channel, because that's what I care about most. But get people to subscribe to the vlog channel. And there he is, Mr. Don Callahan.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are we doing? We've been planning this for a while. Right.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah. So I was just telling the fans that you've seen it. I've seen it. The cast and crew have seen it, but not much of the public. But you just did a recent showing at the Superman. Was it a Superman celebration
yes,
festival?
The 40th Superman celebration. We've been celebrating Superman for 80 years, obviously. They came up with the Action Comics 1000, so that's another way to celebrate it. So, and it's also the 40th of not just a celebration, but also the 40th of Superman or Superboy TV show as well. And then pretty much everybody there, you had pretty much everybody from the Superman, the movie. Mm-hmm. Of course, Margaret Kidder wasn't there because she passed. We all know, rest her soul. But I mean, we had people like Aaron, Jeff East, and a few other people from the movie. So it was great to meet those people. And then as well as a few artists in the artist alley. And then of course we did have Kevin Caliber show up to the Superman celebration. So that was very exciting. A lot of people really gave him warm welcomes, as much as me and everybody else.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yes.
So when you guys got there, so all right, so take me through the weekend because unfortunately I didn't get to go, but I heard from Don guys it was a blast, epic experience. So you guys had two showings, correct?
Yeah, actually, we did about three showings because see what happened was is that to get there. See, I picked up Kevin from the airport around see Thursday because that's kind of like the load day. Nothing really goes on there, so
Mm-hmm.
we get in there around midnight and then started our see we started our booth on Friday just to do some getting to know everybody and then everybody getting to know us and then kind of making the shout outs for our RA. Sorry, I'm a little bit tongue tied here today.
Oh,
I
it's all
usually
right. It's all
don't.
right. Take your time. Take your time.
Sure, sure. But no, yeah, so we gave the word out and then people, went to see it at the Smallville tent, which was cool because it was right next to the artist alley, so we didn't walk too far. We did our Q&A, which Carrie Miller, Charlie Soffer, Kevin Caliber, me, and Scott Michael Dunn were at that Q&A, and we had a lot of great coverage from a couple of coverages from Superman homepage.com. Steve Yunez from Australia came to interview us, and then as well as Ed Downs from Geek Entertainment got to interview us as well and got a little bit of the Q&A on that. And then we showed the movie when it got a little bit dark because it was still bright outside. So once we did that, and then we did a second showing right afterwards. I mean, the reaction was just blessings and awes and everything. So both of those shows, and then we did another showing on Sunday, which that was at the courthouse right in front of the statue of Superman.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So all three showings, great. Not only great publicity, guys, but we've been trying to get the word out. But everyone's seemed to enjoy the show, right?
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just really astounded with everybody's reaction. I would have thought, we're dealing with Superman fans, and I think what people really love the most about this character that we've all known for 80 years is the fact that we taken something that nobody really sees in the modern Superman movies because, of course, we'll be talking about, the immortal, godlike Superman, whereas we present this Superman to be more of a mortal kind of, facing all these people. Even though he's still got superpowers, he's up to these challenges every single fight, no matter what, but somehow lifts it up. And then we also, incorporate the idea of Superman, who is,
Mm-hmm.
in the movie as well. Like we talk about veterans, and we also talk about girls, that are trying to rise up, be the independence of women, the women's rights movement. So we do that, and of course, too, with great acting and great production, and everybody in putting their part in, everybody saw the passion that we did it in for. So it was really, really just an awe on my end of how I saw it, and just listening to the crowd's reactions to like certain parts of the movie, and especially to like when Kevin, as we all know, if nobody knows, Kevin Caliber is also the first season of Supergirl as the silhouetted Superman. When
Mm-hmm.
we in one of those scenes, we recreated that moment, and when we did that, everybody just stood up and cheered like, "Yeah, that's a Superman!" And then yeah, so it was really exciting just to get good feedback from the super hard-died fans of Superman.
I really wish I could have came because I've just been like taking care of some stuff. I've been recently trying to find a better job, so I was so bummed I couldn't come. But from what Donald told me, guys, it was amazing. And I also had a couple of questions about the celebration. So when you guys got there, if you can describe a couple of things, like was there any other events there to do? Like what was events there to do besides your guys' showings? And then how many people showed up? And then what was the best showing, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
See, well, okay, so let's see. When we got there, I mean, like at Superman Celebration, this is like the biggest celebration. I mean, this is like the center place for everybody to see Superman. So, no matter like every like 10 or 15 minutes, there's always something going on. There's either costume contest, showing TV shows, movies, cartoons of Superman, and also even too they had like a little wrestling show on the side, and they have like the food trucks and everything, and of course had Q&As with Brendan Routh, who was also there, and then
Oh wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and even too the producer and the rest of the cast from Superman the movie itself from Christopher Reeve, and then see, then the second question I believe is how many people were there.
Hmm.
Yeah, so um, I don't quite know the exact number, but from the amount of people that come to this is usually about like maybe like 2 or 3 thousand people.
Oh wow, that's nuts. And then my third question was, is what was the best showing of the film? Was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? In your opinion, which one was the best showing? And you got the best response from what day?
Well, we did the showings actually Saturday and Sunday, two on Saturday, one on Sunday, because there's a lot of things cramming in. I mean, when you're like we were talking about, every 10 or 15 minutes, there's always something going on. So they even had to, push some dates
Mhm.
back into it. But no, I mean, because I didn't get to see the third showing because I was back in between my booth and everything because we were trying to get things, packed up and ready to go after Sunday's festivities and everything. But I honestly think that the first showing was probably the best. And of course, too, I mean, I checked in every now and then on the Sunday showing, and people were, having the same usual reactions and always asked a bunch of questions and everything. So, I would say, it's about even, but if anything, since I was there on Saturday, it was definitely that part of the day.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, next question. You guys have been taking it. Me and Don have talked privately about this, and the cast and crew has talked about it. But I was wondering if you could tell the fans what is the future for Superman World War. Are you guys going to take it? So it's going to be either on YouTube or Vimeo or both. And then what more film festivals are you guys going to take it to?
Well, as we just now announced a couple days ago, or about a week ago or so, we decided to announce the timeline of what we're doing it right now. As of now, we're doing local showings. We're trying to get connected with, the local theaters that are very supportive of independent films. So we're going to try to hit, like Hillsborough, Troy, my hometown, and then, of course, too, a few other theaters that would be willing to show it, but only, and then of course, again, anybody that's watching this, in case anybody's from DC or Warner Brothers, we're not making any money off of this. But if anybody, wants to know, we want to try to, have people put this into theaters, but only, making their concessions, like popcorn and stuff. So
Yep.
none of the money will come to us. But if it does make money, if anything, we're maybe possibly wanted to do like, some donations to like Christopher Reeves foundation, or
Foundation.
foundation, or Wounded Warrior projects or something like that, something that supports World War II or any of the veterans, or anything that kind of pitch up. But for us, we're not making money whatsoever. I mean, this has been kind of like one of those big hype talks, and especially to another thing to point out, DVDs are kind of tricky because, of course, too, you're spending money and you're trying to, put it out there. And I don't think, at all honesty, DVDs won't be available, which is why we're
Hmm.
doing online releases. So that's, kind of why we're, steering away from, making DVDs, because one, it's money pit, which, I mean, it's like not to say a bad thing, because we do love this movie. We want everybody to see it. But the more we invested, and then if we ever made money back, that's, cease and desist.
Hmm.
So I'm just heavily putting that out there as a, hyphen, but for copyright infringement. But no, so just to continue on with what I was just talking about, after the local showings, we're going to go right. I'm going to try to get it into the International St. Louis Film Festival to do the kickoff start, and then of course hit other fan film festivals while we can,
Mhm.
and then go through there and then make the release date online on April 3rd, 2019.
Nice. So it's going to go online, guys, on YouTube and Vimeo. April. I'm sorry. What was it again?
April 3rd.
April 3rd, 2019. And how many theaters are you trying to get it into? As many as possible?
I mean, just as many as possible. I mean, for local showings, there's, people like around the St. Louis area. If you
Hmm.
guys are, and of course, plugging in here, if anybody wants to know about these local showings, go on the Superman fan page, Superman World War fan page on Facebook, or on, on our website, www.djcfilms with a Z at the end at wix.com/Superman World War fan film. And then, of course, we do have an Instagram as well at Superman World War. So you can find out all the information mostly either from the website or Facebook itself. So that way we're all up to keep up to date. And then, of course, people have been asking about T-shirts too and all that. What are the, upcoming, contents, which we're really trying to pump out. And
Hmm.
I think the next thing we're going to do is, do like interviews with the cast and crew, kind of like, give a behind the scenes documentary about the making of the movie and try to pump out and maybe show a few scenes or maybe like one or two online. So everybody's kind of like, oh, hey, but then again, we have to look into regulations of what are we doing as far as film
Absolutely.
festivals.
Absolutely. Well, don't worry about the interviews, Don. I will take care of all that, buddy.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you've been covering everything else. So, but
I,
yeah.
Yeah, whatever I haven't covered, Don and the rest of the crew have, and I think that's great. I think that's a great way to get it out. Like you said, guys, next year, 2019, it's going to hit online. But until then, Don, you took the words right out of my mouth. Check out that Facebook page. Check out the Instagram. We're gonna be showing it in a couple theaters online. It's good stuff. And then, like you said, as many film festivals as we can possibly get this thing out to. Because, like Don, I like this film. It shows a very good message, not only about Superman, but also like you got to support those vets, man. And my next question, my next question leads into that. Since you said you've shown this film to some vets, how have the veterans been reacting to it?
Well, I could say for the vets, that was like the most frightening part because
Hmm.
doing a not just a Superman film, but a World War II piece, and it was definitely a challenge because you try to get the costumes, you try to get the locations, but also meeting with the dialect in the script, making sure these people are saying this, and then also too, thinking about what patches Private Don was wearing, what kind of guns did they had in that era, and of course too, with St. Charles Commemorative Air Force, they were more than happy to help us with the movie by letting us use their trucks and cars and everything. And I mean, of course, you'll see that behind the scenes on Fearman 26's channel and
Oh
everything.
yes, I got all the behind the scenes guys. Actually, on both, I've got it on Fears Vlogs and Fears Man 26, and I've got the movie premiere and
Yes,
and the rap party. So I've got that too.
you got the whole coverage, but no, like
I
even
do. I
yeah,
do.
but even too. So I was like talking with a few veterans at there's like a meet get together at the 42nd Infantry Rainbow Division. So I had a sit down lunch with the rest of who's left in the 42nd Infantry, along with their families and stuff like that. And those that came and saw, they thought it was well done. And of course, too, there's always, very particular detail. And I always wanted to make sure that was, mentioned well and highlighted. And I think what they loved mostly part about was the battlefield scene, because that's what really drove them into
Mhm.
the whole idea of what Superman really was, and most of all, who they are. And I
Yeah,
think,
because I mean that's the most part that they remember. With all those battle sequences and stuff. It probably brought back a lot of memories. To them.
oh yeah, it throws them back, and especially too, we usually do like showings like this, and just to see veterans be touched by this movie makes it even more impactful, because I mean everybody has heard about the history of World War II. People have seen pictures, people have seen uh, movies that are based on these stories, and there's true stories like Jacksaw Ridge, or just Pearl Harbor, just true stories. But to implement a real life World War II hero, my grandfather, into this movie as one of the 42nd infantry people. I keep saying that because it's a habit, but no, just because that we're all focusing on more than just Superman himself. Anybody could be a hero. Doesn't have to be wearing tights, doesn't have to be wearing capes or have superpowers. It's a matter that you overcome the negativity, the evil that arises. And people would think, hey, we got to fight them too, because we're horrible and everything, and they're doing everything. But I think for the good moral message is to stay true and do good for the good of mankind.
And like, I just want to add a side note to this. Like, when I watched the film, when I was at the premiere, the real hero is your grandfather. Like, having Superman in it, that's just icing on the cake, guys. But Private Donald Callahan helping Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and like, Donald Callahan doesn't even think that Superman is real. He thinks it's all a joke. And he's like, oh, Lois, you need to wake up. This is the real world. We're in a real war. We need to help ourselves, And I wish I could have met your great grandfather, because he seemed like a remarkable man. And my next question is what was his actual job, like his actual duties in World War II?
Well, his duties in World War II, that's the thing where we discussed about him going into the Army. So before he went to the Army, he was on photostat machines during the period of when John Deere was in the making. So when he got into the Army, after he went through his training and everything, he was sent to the Pentagon because of his skills and works on photostat machines. They needed somebody to train the Women's Army Corps how to use those photostat machines. Then shortly after, he was sent right after D-Day to help out with his infantry invade Dachau. And he was doing a little bit of everything. He did photography for the World War II, but then as well as kind of doing little jobs here and there, kind of helping out whatever he can help pick up the pieces. But then also, then after that, he went to be serving for General Collins, which is his 42nd Infantry leader, to just assist him, kind of move wine bottles and stuff like that in Austria for maybe about 3 or 4 more years, up to the point that he was a master sergeant by the time he got out.
Wow, that's really awesome. Because I remember, before I came to set, you told me a little bit about your grandfather, but I just learned more about your grandfather in about 2 minutes, than I all did on set. And even when you were telling me the stuff about on set, I was like, he already sounds like a I can't even say the word remarkable man, but he sounds even more remarkable. And I guarantee if he would have still been alive today, Don, he would be so proud of you and proud of this film. Because me as your friend and helping you promote this film, it's been an amazing adventure to help you, and pleasure and honor to help you promote this. And it's such a great positive film, a great positive message, to send out, just not to veterans and families and friends, but also to little kids that look up to Superman and that look up to veterans. It's an amazing feeling, whenever you can make a film that comes all together and it fits correctly, and
right.
It's a wonderful feeling.
It is. With, of course, my grandfather, it's I think back in the day, there was a lot of remarkable men, no doubt, and especially those that have served. But knowing my grandfather as one of the great gentlemen of his time, which when he came back home from World War II, all he did was work 30 plus years as John Deere, doing all the instruction manuals for The tractors and anything that was built, he would be, very particular with that. And, just listening to my dad and talking about what did he do, and how many offers he had. Like, even too, there was somebody that said that, one of his buddies wanted to start Arby's with him, but he turned that down because he didn't want to, be all big headed and have all that money. He wanted to teach his kids how to earn their money, how to be good people, and especially too, he was a family man, and I think that's the one thing that in my family trait, that's what we all kind of carry, is that we got to learn to be together, no matter where we are or who we're with. We always open welcome arm with our hands, and just be able to pick people up and bring us, into a great journey. But then you bring a movie like Superman into this, which I feel like Superman is being forgotten now, of like I'm saying, like I'm repeating, but Superman has been forgotten of what his true origin is. And for me to dig into that and just bring it back out is showing the true heart of what Superman is. He is meaning to fight for truth and justice in the American way, but also the traits of Superman. People would think, I want to be lifting cars, I want to fly, I want to shoot laser visions, but all you got to do is act of a Superman. You just
exactly. All you have to do is have a big heart, care, treat people like you'd want to be treated. And like you brought up a great point, like how your family raised you with all those values. My family, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers could say the same thing. Like, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, like, that's being a hero in itself. And then helping the weak. Like, if you see someone in need, you don't have to like do anything real big. Just a random act of kindness goes a long way. And I've done actually a couple of random acts of kindness on my channel, and I've gotten some bad views on it, saying like, oh, you probably just did that for views. I'm like, no, I did it because I care. And I guarantee you guys, when you guys see this film, Don did this for two reasons. One, it's a tribute to the vets, and then a tribute to his grandfather, and to show people that you don't have to have a red cape and red boots. All you have to do is have a great mind, a great big heart, and just go out there, do your job, and just treat people the way you'd want to be treated, and just do the best with what you got while you're on this earth.
And of course, Superman, let's not forget.
Oh yeah, I mean, Superman is great. Like I said, he's icing on the cake. But
he's icing on the cake. But yeah, I mean, everything you said pretty much sums all that up. I mean,
yeah.
Just because, like, for me, when I was a kid, ever since, Superman the movie was the first, or actually even before that, it was watching Max Fletcher's cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, like Don said, like, no, everybody loves dun 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 dun, and then exactly, and then what's coming next. You just see him open up the booth, get in, rip the shirt off, do like a little spin, and he spins out of Clark Kent's suit, and then he's up and away, or he ducks into an alleyway. I mean, everybody loves that.
Everybody loves that. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 2 years old or if you're 98 years old. Everybody loves someone just getting their chest wide and just ripping that shirt and tie off. It's amazing.
It's a really just like that incredible signature that you see every day. Is once you see the buttons open and you see that symbol, it's like it's like for the longest time it's just been bright, but nobody can point out what is that. But then Man of Steel kind of digs into that and does it's a symbol of hope, and that's just like, wow, that's pretty deep when you get into it. But then of course that's where everything dives into with the aspect of how do we look at superheroes and everything. And then of course that's where after time we just really get involved with these are heroes out there that are doing everything that they want to, as far as showing fantasies of like the impossibilities of what the true superpower is, which is just our simple hearts. And
absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I guess even too, like as a kid, like I said before, watching Max Fletcher and then of course Christopher Reeve, I've been wanting to do a Superman fan film for 20 years, and finally getting the opportunity to, but then having the reason to do it, which was much more important. And to do that, to incorporate something that I love, but attach it to something personal, was really a true honor.
Mm-hmm. Now I got a couple of questions because I don't know how much time we have, so I want to dig in deep. Since you said you've been wanting to do a fan film for 20 years now, I just want to get some key questions out of the way for the fans. Who were the two? How many writers on the film, and total production? How much did it cost to make this fan film?
Well, let's see what we did. Let's see, there was 3 writers. That's including me. Of course, my dad was involved with the writing process. We both kind of came up with the concept, but then it was also Laura Candace, which she was, there mostly with me doing all the rewrites and all the, especially, I mean, not every rewrite, but just like there to help, do the the doodles and everything to spice it up, and also kind of feed some of the characters to me of like, hey, this is, especially with Lois Lane, she really brought that fire in the writing with Lois and how she could take it. And then production wise, we has set it to 25,000, but then we overshot probably like to maybe about $35,000.
That's not too bad though. I mean, because when you guys watch the film, every single shot, there's not one shot in this film that I don't like. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your friend. When I was sitting there, Don, it is shot beautifully. My favorite, I've got a couple of favorite scenes that I've told you, but since I've seen some more stuff online, I still love those 2 scenes that I told you about the premiere. But my favorite is when you see the silhouette of Kevin as Superman. Another one is when he finally gets into the booth and Don like slowed it down, so it's not like a quick rip. It's a very slow kind of rip open. That one's great. And then I love the interrogation scene when it's your grandfather, talking to Lois, and they're both tied up and they feel like hopeless. He's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. How the heck are we gonna get out of here? That is a fantastic scene, and that I'd say hands down. That whole sequence, because the way you shot it, they're both in the dark, and there's just like one kind of like hanging light, so it's just a beam of light, and it just is on them, and then you don't see anything else. Like everything else is like complete darkness, and those are my favorite. So, do you have a favorite scene or shot in the film?
Yeah, I actually do. But before I get into that, I want to also give a plug-in shout out to my cinematographers, but also DP, who is also part of my producer, Kevin Eaton, which he helped with creating the feel of it, especially too, like you mentioned, that shot of that silhouette interrogation setup.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, all we did was just had like a softbox light on top of like a water pipe just above us, luckily, and just get that nice little flow. And then of course too, in the beginning, Kevin Eaton was our DP to begin with, and doing all these fantastic shots. And I mean, by all means, I give him a lot of credit. But then of course too, and during production time, it got way too much bigger. We had a lot of things shift around and all that, so to the point where we had to have somebody come in and do the DPing for us, which Wilton Stewart III came in, and then we also still let Kevin Eaton do cinematography, because he still carries the vision that I did. I want to make sure that was processed through. But then during the pickups, that's where Wilton really brought a lot of great shots to life too.
Do you want to? Does he have any websites? Do you want to plug any of his stuff? Kevin's thing, like if they wanted to check out any of his cinematography work or his demo reel or anything, like is there anywhere that they could check that out?
Yes. Kevin Eaton at KE Films, which is on Facebook. I know he's got a website somewhere. I don't know if it's up and official yet, but he's also got it on Instagram as well. I don't know about Twitter, but then also too, I want to give a really huge thank you and shout out to November 11 Pictures, because they were there from the beginning. They were there pretty much getting into the, the big part of the production, which that in itself was really, really, really crazy. So, but yeah, Lilton Stewart III has finished off with the DPing. So they have a Facebook, Instagram, and I believe they do have Twitter as well. Just all under November 11 Pictures. And again,
Okay.
yeah, and again, I would highly recommend, Lilton Stewart III and Kevin Eaton as a DP all day, every day. They brought these shots to life, which that gets to my next point, my favorite scenes. I would say the battlefield scene with, in sections between, the interrogation part of the conversation and then having the battlefield scene, that was like all shot by Kevin, and the way that they did it was just so beautiful, and especially getting those inserts that I wanted and to be able to feel it. And then my other favorite scene is the mutant fight scene, because for one, and Lilton worked all on that section right there, because we shot that in Limp Brewery, which I never thought we would get into, but with the budget that we had, which was astounding to get in, and shooting that sequence, I got to give props to with the makeup artist Zach Elston, who did all the gore on his face and everything, the mutant, and then and then of course to David Schaefer, which we call Safer because I made a mess up in the call sheets, but it kind of stuck with. But no, he helped with the coordinating, the fight, and everything. And then Lilton was able to just set up these shots so beautifully. And I mean, it was like all natural light, which was even better. So just to do these movements and everything, it was just amazing how beautiful it turned out to be. And then just piecing that together could have not been much more better.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I got two really quick questions before we move on to a different topic. So,
oh, absolutely.
Any thought about taking this film at some point in the future, like internationally? Like, have you guys ever like dug deep into that? And then a follow-up question to that is, I just want to clarify. Like, people have been asking about merchandise and T-shirts and stuff. When you guys do make all that, what merchandise do you have? And then you said, if you just to tell the fans one more time, where will that money go to, what charities, and what you'll be donating to?
Okay, so the first question, what we definitely have thought about doing international, but that's kind of like that's just part of if we can do it through the film festival circuit, which is I figure that's the only way we could do it. But so that's a possibility that I like to see, and get hearbacks from. So if we did like Canada, Vancouver, or Australia, that'd be great. So, and then your second question, can you clarify that for me once more? I did not get that. Hello, Johnny. I think you froze up there for a second, or you're breaking. Hello? Hello? Oh, I can see you now.
Okay. All right. Sorry, having technical difficulties here. The internet is kind of here and there, so I'm sorry if it cuts out. Just give it a second, and then the internet will come back on. So I'm sorry about that.
No, that's cool.
I was just saying to clarify, to the fans, they've been because I help manage guys the Supermen World War fan page with Don, a couple other people, and I've seen a lot of fans saying that they want some merchandise. So I was just saying, what merchandise are you and your team going to make, and then where can they get that, and then once you guys make that money, what you're going to take all that money and donate to what charities?
Well, of course, too, that's another thing we have to look into, especially to like with the logos and everything, the copyright infringement. We got to be careful what is on these items and where is it going. But I'd like to do possibly some T-shirts, posters, anything really on those two aspects, or we haven't really thought much of too much into merchandising, but it's still in the making of the process to see
Hmm.
where that goes. But again, like I said, I'm more than happy to get this all donated to charity. I like to do the Christopher Reeve Foundation, and then Wood and Warrior Projects, or any other veterans. Even too, I like to donate to the Missouri Commemorative Air Force for helping out so much of their time with it, and let them that be a donation to their museum, to anything to keep their airplanes running, just anywhere in the aspect of World War II, and then maybe even to since we're also focusing on the women's right movement, maybe somewhere around there. I've yet to look into it, but I definitely want to be all in helping out with charities on this, if at the very least possible making money.
No, I mean that's great. I mean that's like you said, like it's a feature fan film, and I've seen some of our fans say like, "Hey, I bet you guys are making tons of money off this," and I was like, "Nope, nothing." I'm like, it's all about putting out a good message. Our passion and drive for Superman, our passion and drive for the veterans, for good people to, and and good entertainment, obviously. I mean, because it's Superman, but
Right.
I really like think that's awesome, and that's why I said, like, and me and Don became friends on the set, and then after I got to know this guy, I was like, listen, I'm really good at promoting stuff. I will do whatever it takes to help you get this out to not only my fans, but we got to get it out to everybody else on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere, and like the response has been nothing but positive. I mean, like we get hundreds of people looking at that Supermen World War fan page on Facebook daily, hundreds of people daily. And it's been amazing. I just wanted to thank you so much for this opportunity, man. I've made so many great friends off the cast, and that leads into my next question about the cast. This cast is such a cool, tight group of people. How did you, before even adding me onto the team, how did you form this great group of people to make this film?
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, for me, before I made this film, I was involved with the St. Louis independent film circuit for about nearly 10 years. I mean, I've been doing this for about 8 years now. And just through that time, most of the people I worked with are working on this movie. And those that have not worked with me, it's just a matter of, just, you know, being kind and being able to communicate with them, getting them on my level. But I think what really, got them on board is reading the script and then saying, hey, I want to be part of this. And, getting to build that relationship, to be able to communicate and actually know how to execute, what to execute, where to execute. That's where, like you start having these pre-production meetings, all these read-throughs, and just, be able to sit down and write, especially like with Laura. Her and I really got to be more friends through that process as well. And then of course too, getting Scott Michael Dunn, which was an actor that I followed his career from time to time, and then finally hearing that he played Hitler once before in a student film, but then seeing his potential on his audition, that's where it's like, hey, now I really want to work with you. And then nowadays, and then it turns out to be now that Scott and I are working with each other in landscaping. So that really is, somewhere along the lines of, great friendship, and just be able to have the same set of goals to go where you want to do. So I think that's where, in St. Louis, you have the most tight group possible in filmmaking. And I feel like that's where the heart is just be able to communicate, but also just to have the same goals that you want to go for, which is just to entertain, but most of all, try to do this for what we want as a living.
I mean, yeah, it felt like a family. Like I was like, I only came on set for a day or two. Like my main responsibilities, guys, was to shoot the making of the film, and kind of like the behind the scenes, and then that was it. and you guys and Kevin invited me. It was actually Kevin's idea, and Kevin got you on board to have me come out, and right away, like I said, Don could not have picked a better group of people. And as soon as I came on set, and I hadn't been on a set in quite a while because that was like the first real set that I was on, because like all my like little student film projects in film school, yeah, we were on a set, but it wasn't as big. It wasn't as big as like the set I was on with you guys. And I was like, this is phenomenal, and nothing but amazing people, guys, on this set. And you guys, it was just a family atmosphere, and I got leading into the question, if you can explain, um, describe what was like on set, that family experience that I'm talking about, and then after that,
Sure.
if I could ask you, because you were going into casting a little bit, why Kevin? How did you find Kevin, and what made Kevin the most perfect choice for Superman?
Right, of course. Now the family crew aspect, which was definitely something I've been wanting to get into. I think being on set. I mean, this is my first time as a feature film director, just to go on, a fan film that's a history piece, which that in itself is a huge heavy load. Knowing that I was going to go into it, it was going to be something that I never really expected to be, such a heavy load. But I think what takes away of that such a huge load is the feeling of being around with people that you love and being around with. And of course, too, like between takes or, setting up, tearing down. I mean, you got people like, the boom operator and the DP, just, kidding around. And even too, like our cast members, I really want to give that setting a vibe that, even though we're on like a schedule, I like to keep it where it's like, everybody can kind of, be let loose a little bit, as long as they, know what they're doing and why they're here to do it. That's where, the fun kind of starts. And
Mm-hmm.
especially too, bringing Kevin Calber in was definitely, a real charmer, because, he is always, the guy that, he's one of those guys that really brighten up the set, because he really loves to, get involved with people. And him being a St. Louis, people, and then moving out to LA but coming back, he's definitely in the right group of people. And then, and even too, like in the cast members, we do a lot of jokes. And then the guy that plays my grandfather, Charlie Soffer, who is another fantastic actor.
He is phenomenal, guys. I have done so many conventions with that guy. He is like, I'd say me like the two best friends I made out of this whole thing is probably you and Charlie, and then probably Kevin, if I had to pick a third one. Like you, like,
Right.
oh, I made friends with everybody on the set, but I mean, like me, Don, and Charlie, we went to conventions together, and like Kevin's already like asked me, you got to come out, Fierce. You got to come out and visit me, at least once in your life to LA. I was like, dude, I'm there. As soon as I get some money, I'm there, man. And so, like, it's amazing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just because with all the, just with, the feeling, the family, we even like joke around and actually, make jokes at each other, sarcasm and everything. And then especially to, we just really know how to plug with each other. And,
Hmm.
and like I said, I let people loose, a little bit. So, it's like, we'll have a laugh, but then we'll get on, okay, lights, camera, action. And then even to, playing with, and that's what I love about directing, is connecting with your actors. And then luckily for me, I had such a great, knowledgeable cast that really knew their roles. They knew what to do.
Hmm.
But even too, it's like I can joke around with them too a little bit, just to kind of let up the air a little bit. And then,
Well,
um,
it's that nice, give and take, and like then that makes for like a nice loose set, but also, there's got to be some structure there, so you guys can get back to work, but laugh. And like if someone like messed up on their line, then it was funny because if you guys haven't seen the blooper reel, it's amazing.
yeah, you can see how much we kid around too. So with that, I mean, you really couldn't get wrong, especially with our boom op Chris, who just, really, he always makes it a lot more fun.
Hmm.
My interview, sorry. take a moment. Yeah, so sorry, people are.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. No
No,
problem.
yeah, but no, yeah. Getting to your question on why Kevin Caliber,
Yeah, why
why?
Kevin? Because like I know you guys knew that he was like a St. Louis actor, and it's very commendable. Guys, he started out in St. Louis with nothing, made his way up to L.A. But I was wondering if you could talk to me and tell the fans, how did you find him? How did you hear about him? How did you guys become friends? And how did you offer the role to him? And like, was he interested right away, or did it take some convincing? All those questions.
Right. No, absolutely. First off, I think for Kevin Caliber to be Superman is just fantastic. And the reason why, in the casting process, the way that I kind of started was like, as soon as me and my dad came up with the concept and got the story going, it was funny because me and Kevin knew each other a couple years ago before the film started. So then it's just like, we worked on set, and then I told him, hey, I'm ready for my first feature. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you got a role in for me? I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a role in for you. And he's like, oh, yeah, what's that? And then I told him what the role was. And he's like, oh, wow, that's pretty ambitious of you to go for that. So then I'm like, okay, and it's also World War II piece. He's like, oh, World War II. Wow, you're really getting into it. And then, of course, and then this is where, and he was, kind of like, okay, I kind of have to think about it because for one, for me as a first-time director, he would kind of think, wow, he's taking something very ambitious, something not even a student, filmmaker would do for their first feature because you have like one location, 5 different actors, and just stick with that and then build up to that big budget. So that's what kind of, got him, taking some convincing that with me and Kevin Eaton to create this world, and then doing the Kickstarter, showing and communicating ideas with Kevin Caliber, like, hey, here's the costumes, here's what we're thinking. And then that's where he was like, hey, I'm on board. I'm totally, really wanted to do this. That's where we got him hooked right there at the moment. And then casting him, it was offered, but I felt it was offered for the right reason. I mean, because and I mean, I didn't just cast him because of Supergirl's Superman deal where he was just there for a split second and he just looked the shape of it. But looking at him, we're also thinking about who else could do a Max Fletcher Superman in that kind of physique, but then also too, I think for him as a good-hearted person with that Midwest feel that I felt.
Yeah,
because it just, I could see where it just kind of illuminates with it. And then even too, that's where, I really started to see the personality that he can present as a hero. And then he's also he's also an ex-Marine. So he really, really got not just the shape, but he's also got the attitude for it. So with that and all of that purpose, and he does stunts and everything, just going on a little details. But I think the main reasons how he carries that role, and then not just as Superman, but also as Clark Kent. And for him, I always give him notes like, hey, go a little high because you're Clark Kent, you're a little bit nerdy, and now you have to really get low because you don't want to go too low like Batman. But when you do, it's like, hey, back off a little bit. And then, try to, keep him on toe. But me and him, we've stuck with this, character together. We developed this, making sure that we bring the Superman that we all remembered from back then.
Now, did you flew out to LA to hand him the script, or did he come into St. Louis and read the script while he was here?
Well, actually, the way that it worked was we did everything remotely. We did like all the readings through remotely through Skype, and then we send the costume back and forth to make sure this the fitting was on, even to the chest emblem, and then also figuring out, hey, what's your boot size, what is your waistline. I mean, he sent all the measurements so we could get it right, and then we sent it back to him just to make sure everything was tailored, and then we got the last bit of the tailoring for the first day that he was going to be on set as Superman.
Okay. Now, before I forget, guys, we were talking about the blooper reel. So, Don, I have to ask. I'll tell you my favorite after you answer. Who made the blooper reel? who and also, what was your favorite blooper out of that reel? Because I got two. I got two.
Well, I think it was. I think the idea started with Charlie because he loves blooper reels, and he thought there was a lot of good moments that we had. So I'm like, okay, so me and him, we looked at all the raw footage. We picked out, some of these really good moments where it just, felt like, hey, yeah. And then we probably had probably about 10 minutes worth, but we had to condense it down to 5 for the best. So between me and him, we really kind of, condensed it down to the best of what it is. And we had a really good time out of it because it's like, oh, hey, you remember that joke? It's like, yeah. And it's sometimes, you get in those, you get so far into it, you kind of think, are people going to laugh about that or should? And there was a lot of, kind of like one of those, behind the doors jokes. It's something that, personal that between, but you don't know if the other people are going to get it. So you kind of have to, pick and choose which are, going to get people to laugh. So unless it's, like a good Superman reference. But no, yeah, between me and Charlie, we it was a collaboration together on that.
That's awesome. And so favorite blooper.
Okay, favorite blooper. I would. Oh goodness.
I mean, there's so many good ones. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's between. It is between when I was saying, "All right, we're getting ready to roll it," Mike, and then my walkie-talkie was going off, and it's just not stopping. I'm like, "Shut up, shut up!" And it's like, "Oh, my phone's dying," and he's just like. Just giving that shrug no, this ain't happening, and just making all those faces. And then of course to Charlie going up at that rock, and he's like, this looks like a job for, oh crap, I'm not Superman, son of a bitch.
That was a good one. That was I did laugh at that. My two favorite was at the very start of the blooper reel, when he had those fake guns and he shot the camera by accident. That one is my hands down my favorite, and then my second favorite is when you guys are trying to. It's Kevin, Carrie, and they're about to take flight, and so they grab onto Superman.
Oh yeah, that whole reaction.
Yeah, and they're trying to get the jump up, so in After Effects they can make Superman lift off. And Charlie was having a hell of a time. And he's like, "Is this real life? Is this more lifelike if I do it like this?" And then Kevin looks right at Charlie. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's so lifelike." And I was dying. I couldn't take it anymore.
I think that voice where he's like, la, 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 and he's like. It's just like him imitating. That was just so funny. The third, I think the good take was just when everybody jumped in, it was a good wide shot. It's just after that, everybody just busted out laughing. I think we had to wait 10 minutes to actually kind of wind down and compose ourselves because
I mean you can hear people laughing, and then Kevin's delivery when he was like, "Yeah, it's so lifelike," I started dying. I couldn't take it anymore.
Or was it? Actually, he said, "I was so I think it was it was Lilton telling me, hey, how did you like that?" I was like, good. It felt natural. He's like, so natural.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was either so natural or so lifelike.
It was something of that.
Yeah, and you can tell on Kevin's face. He's like, it wasn't natural at all, but God bless Charlie, and it was hilarious. So, yeah.
It was so hilarious.
So I got two more last questions. I know we didn't cover everything. I tried to hit, all the high points. So if we need to cover anything else, or if we have another event, we'll definitely come back on and do, part 2, on my main channel. But my last two is you've been taking a lot of this stuff to like you said, a bunch of events like, the Superman Celebration, Comic-Con, the Toy and Comic Expo, Wizard World. What event do you feel like has gotten the best response?
Oh, the best response. See, I mean,
like what event do you think has gotten the best response from the fans?
I would definitely say because of the Superman Celebration, we actually got to show it in Metropolis of the movie, and all the other times it was either a couple clips or just a trailer. I think just because you're in Metropolis, and of course you got the super hardcore Superman fans, just to hear their applause, just to hear their reactions, it just shows so much that we did an actual good job, not only just covering the World War II aspect and, serving, in honor of my grandfather, but also bringing back, Superman to his origin. And I believe even one of the fans or somebody said that we have brought the heart back into Superman and to be reminded for the rest of our lives.
So, because I was thinking myself, I was like, even though I didn't go to the Superman celebration, I wanted to, but I was thinking, like, when I asked that question, I'm like, I bet you Don's going to say the best response at the certain event would probably be the Superman celebration. I was thinking either you were going to say that or Wizard World Comic Con, because that one is such a big event, and I saw the fans freak out like whenever we showed them.
Yeah, they freaked out.
Like the new trailer, I was like, all right, he's going to show the old trailer, but then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we got a new trailer. It's coming. Check this out. And you point at the screen and they went ballistic.
Oh, yeah. It was so great just to build up that little, segment of just like at Wizard World, just seeing ooh, oh, and it's because I honestly, as much as I like the third trailer, the second one is definitely my most favorite because it definitely goes around about the idea of Superman, of Hitler just talking that monologue. God, I mean that is just such a beautiful, well said monologue, and even to the idea of Nietzsche's Hitler's of Superman. It just really got the feel of the movie, which that in itself, and then of course too, I got the first two trailers in black and white.
Because, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, nothing against trailer number 1, but I loved trailer 2 and 3. Those two were my absolute hands down favorites. And then I got one more question.
Yes.
Any future projects coming up? And then the fans have been wanting to know: Are we thinking Superman World War Part 2, a sequel? What do you think?
Okay, so the answer to the first question, which was repeat that one, sir.
Any future projects coming up?
Yes, future projects coming up.
Because I can't wait to work with you again, buddy. We gotta. Right. I can't wait to do all that behind the scenes stuff again.
Well, of course, yes, absolutely. Of course, I want to do some short films and everything. I think once it kind of gets into the film festival circuits and everything. I know right now Lilton Stewart III is going to be directing, and he's also writing his second feature or his first very own feature as a director, called What Happens at Home, kind of a psychological thriller. That's still in pre-production script writing process. He's in LA right now and getting all that worked out. Yeah, so looking for investors, getting all that ready to go. So, and I'm an associate producer on that. So that's just awesome. So I'm excited for that. Then, of course, too, I did the 40-hour film project not too long ago. I was specifically a digital wrangler, but also editor on that. So you'll probably be finding that somewhere sometime on YouTube. And, of course, it was in St. Louis where we did it. And then, of course, I'm always ready for another project with KE Films, which they're kind of getting in the writing process of which script they want to do. They got multiple. They're just ready to get a good one. But for me, I've been writing some stuff too that I want to do. Really anything's kind of up in the air, ready to go by, filming in the fall. So, and then
I think the fans would love to see a sequel to Superman World War. I think they would. I know I would. I would.
Right. Yeah. Now, I mean, with going in about that, I mean, of course, to me, Laura, and my dad talked about it, and especially my father who invested in the money with it. We all agreed, if it were to happen, we would have it financed, not in our own pockets this time. And then, or at least try to go around about it knowing how we did it and do it better without going over budget or anything. But and even too, the story itself, I mean, there's even a couple of concepts that even me and Lilton were talking back and forth. Even too, Kevin had a few ideas, just how could we go about that and just see where that could go. But in the meantime, that's like, something that's still yet to be kind of fleshed out, and if it's something we yet to consider. But I think more than anything, if it's to happen again, it's definitely going to have to be on somebody else's budget.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you never know, guys. Don Callahan, he's a good buddy. He's a good director. That wasn't a no. That wasn't a yes. So we may see Superman World War
Is it
Part 2.
up in the air, as I always like to say?
It's up in the air. We could be possibly in the future seeing a part 2. Well, Don, I want to thank you so much. This was a fantastic interview, and I really appreciate your time. And thanks for coming on my main channel, Fearsman 26. And I hope you've enjoyed yourself, sir.
Yes, I very much did. This is actually probably the most, thinking questions and interviews, and I know really get asked most by other people. So this is actually kind of nice to actually kind of dive in and kind of remember what I did. So this is really, really nice to actually have somebody like this, answer all these different questions.
Well, I really wanted to dig deep and talk to you and get the fans to have as much information as we can. Like I said, guys, if we need to do part 2, we will do part 2 on the main channel. And if we do any more big events, like anything like Wizard World, or if we do another like Superman celebration, we'll try. I could set up a live stream then. But get the word out, and that's what we've been trying to do. And like I said, check out Fearsman 26. Fears vlogs for like behind the scenes, and I had the movie premiere on there, and the after party after we wrapped. So that's all on there for you guys to check out. I've got some more Superman World War films, interviews and stuff of the cast coming up, and also check out Don's YouTube channel. It's just at Don Callahan, correct, Don?
Yeah, it's Donald Callahan. So yeah, I'm probably making it official as a DJC Films YouTube channel, and then of course, check out DJC Films on Facebook, KE Films on Facebook, November 11 Pictures are on Facebook, and then also Superman World War fan page on Facebook, and then also www.djcfilms with a Z at the end at
absolutely
x.com/Superman World War, or you can just Google it. You'll get like all the different search engines. You can see all the trailers, and then even like I said, we're going to try to pump out as much content as much as possible with interviews that he's done, and also for behind the scenes that he's well done, and we'll even add more to it. And then
because all the content that I gave that I did, it's on my channel, but I also gave Don a sample of all of it, like to him. So I said, you can chop it up, put it on your channel in your own little way. And Don makes a good point. I'd say the 3 top places to check all this stuff is the Superman World War fan page on Facebook, Don's YouTube channel, and probably that website. And I'd say if you had to pick a 4th one, probably my channel too, because I have a lot of stuff on there. But whatever I don't have, it's on Don's channel, the Facebook, and his website.
Right. And of course, any Instagram people want to follow it, it's on Superman at Superman World War. But at the same time, too, it's like, we don't post as much on there as much as I like to, but whenever we get something new or something fresh, we usually present it on there as much as Facebook. It's between Facebook and Instagram. But as much as we get news or anything, even check out the interview at supermanhomepage.com, where Steve, who is a fantastic guy, he's covered us on the story, and then even Geek Entertainment, or you'll be also seeing like an article somewhere coming sometime soon. I don't know when, but he's also covered a story on us and on the movie. So by all means, give those a check out. And then, and then also check out, keep anybody that does not know Fearsman 26, keep, eye look out, make a shout out to him, so they can look at what Johnny's doing here, because he's covered us pretty much since the beginning of time. So
since the beginning, I mean, I the only thing I really didn't cover was like the beginning of the shoot, because like I kind of came in like a little bit towards the end, but Whatever I didn't cover, like I said, Don and his amazing crew has already covered for me. And then Don was like, Johnny, I really need you to cover this, 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 and this. We have all this stuff ready to go, but if you can just focus on that. And I was like, I got you covered, you know, so.
Right. Just to shoot stuff like that, yeah, it's really great to have. And then just covering all this other aspect of everything else, you know, it's all about, you know, just getting all the good stuff and people that want to see it. So by all means, yeah, it really turns out the way it should be. But yeah, so guys, yeah, definitely check it out. And even too, we have the Superman music video on YouTube as well, which Ashley Lusk, giving her a shout out as well. She's a American Idol contestant that tried out a couple years and even tried this year, but she's a fantastic artist. You can check her out on YouTube, Facebook, and again, I say Ashley Lusk. Sometimes I, you know, say Musk or Husk or, you know.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. And that's also on Don's channel. And then he allowed me to put the blooper reel and that music video on my channel just to get more of the word out, guys. But I can't thank you enough, buddy. We're going to take off. But like I said, like I said, any other more events, check out those sites. Maybe a part 2 of this interview coming soon. And this is Fears, and this is Donald, and we will see you guys later. Peace.